And a very pleasant good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another edition of Tornado Talk. We're here on Monday nights where we talk all things Brevard College Tornado Athletics, and happy to have you with us this evening. It's going to be a soccer-intensive show, both women's soccer and men's soccer. We're going to celebrate two soccer student athletes who will be graduating this semester. So capping off their career as Brevard College Tornadoes. And happy to be joined now by our first two guests, head men's soccer coach Juan Mascaro. Juan, thanks for joining the show.
Thank you for having us. Appreciate it.
And also with us, assistant coach Chelsea Shaughnessy from the women's soccer program. Coach Shaughnessy, thanks for being here.
Thanks for having us.
Well, we're coming off, obviously everybody knows a very unique situation with the pandemic globally, and a successful semester despite those challenges here at Brevard College. We got through the semester, finals wrapping up this week. And then on the athletic side, while postponed seasons in terms of USA South Conference and NCAA Division III play, all the teams were in substantial action this fall. And from the women's soccer perspective, a total of 8 intra-squad is treated very much like, real game. Would love to hear from each of you coaches as far as how the fall went in terms of those scrimmages, the team in general, and just the overall accomplishment of this fall. Coach Mascaro, we'll start with you.
Yeah, Phil, it was probably the most interesting fall I've ever experienced in my 25 years of coaching college soccer, because of many reasons. Obviously, COVID, and we didn't have the season, but you also have so many dynamics going on within the team. So you have an experienced coaching staff that for the first time are not going to have a competitive season to walk into in 2 weeks. Then you have your returning players that know what's going on, so they know it's going to be different. Then you have your freshmen, the new kids coming in. They don't know what it's like to play college soccer, and some of them have their season in the fall, some in the spring. So they're kind of all over the place a little bit. So to bring all that together, and I think the challenge for Chelsea and I was to create a meaningful experience for the group. I think that was the goal. In the end was, how can we create a meaningful experience for the group that is competitive, as competitive as we can make it, with playing 8 times against yourself can wear down on you a little bit. But I think when I look back at it, I think we accomplished it, and I think that what we did was we had a league going on, and every player could accumulate points based on wins and losses and goals and assists and clean sheets and all that stuff. And they were playing for a few more seconds on the fitness tests that are going to be run in the spring semester, which is going to be pretty important. So they were competing for 15, 20 more seconds on the mile, 10 more seconds on this other run. So I think it got pretty competitive, and it was fun. I think we progressed really well. I think the first couple of games were very iffy, and but you saw the progress, and really probably the best game were the last two. The last 2 games, you could see the team come together and play soccer in the way that we would like them to see play over the season.
Excellent. Coach Shaughnessy, in terms of sort of the X's and O's and also, the individual development within the team, what did you see improvement-wise from this squad this fall?
Yeah, I definitely think it was a unique season, and you'll never gain the experience without being in an official game. But with that being said, the benefits this year were we got extra training sessions. We were able to actually click a little bit more. I think it's one of the few times that a coaching staff actually gets a chance to try players in all different spots. So going into the next season, I think we have a great idea of where players can fit, where players can fill, and how we can expand upon that. So I think there were a lot of exciting things, and it was just nice to see the girls compete every day, even though there wasn't a, quote unquote true season. So I definitely think there are a lot of bright spots this season.
And Coach Mascaro, what did you learn about your roster in specific? Whether, strengths, areas that perhaps need improvement, depth-wise, things of that nature.
I think a couple of things that I learned was probably the best one is, and the first one is, I think we're pretty deep in all positions. So all four lines, I think we are pretty deep. And in every single position, I think we're pretty deep. I mean, we've never been really, we're always maybe 5 deep. I think now we're probably 10 to 12 deep. So that is great because it gives you a little more competitiveness within the squad, right? So that I think it was very pleasant to see. Second, I think that I was able to try people in different spots. So I was able to see players play in different spots, and that gives me a lot of flexibility when it comes to putting people in different spots. So I saw a lot of potential of people that not only can play this position, but they can play this one and this one. And we tried it throughout it, and I think it was very pleasant. It was pretty good to see that they reacted well. They tried their best, and there's people that can actually play probably 2 or 3 positions. And the other one is, trying the new kids on the team. You always try to see where they fit. And the good thing about having 2.5 months to figure it out is some kids really settled on a position. Some of the new kids really settled on a position, and that was good to see that they had enough time to settle. And what I mean by that is normally you have 2 weeks and you start playing, and you might have, a first-year student center back. And that's scary. That's scary for the player and for the coaching staff, because experience, you cannot replace experience. You got to play, 20, 30, 40 games to gain experience. So to see that people gained experience in critical positions that they might be playing in the spring and next fall, I think it was something that it was very eye-opening and very good for us to see.
Coach Chelsea, similar thoughts in terms of that versatility and depth of the roster?
Yeah, I definitely agree with Coach Mascaro in the sense that we had the opportunity to actually give those players time to adjust. But it's also been really nice to see the team kind of click a little bit better and a little bit more, because there's less of that competitive and thrown into high stress situations that the teams have been able to get to kind of morph and know each other more on a personal level. So definitely a lot of, like I said earlier, I think there's a lot of good things going forward that our team's looking forward to.
The next item on the agenda, we've been talking about this subject all fall, but it's now a reality, which is the new field house here at Brevard College and the new home for the women's soccer team, a brand new locker room. Coach Mascaro, you're also vice president of finance and operations and CFO here at Brevard College. So we're in the middle of this project from start to finish. But from putting on your women's soccer coaching hat first, what does this mean for the Tornadoes?
I mean, I think it's game changing. It's a game changer. I'll be honest with you. For all the programs that are going to be there and for all our athletic programs, I think it's a game changer. I was talking to our AD. How we got to find ways to showcase our facilities now, because we have so many of them that are so beautiful that we got to find a way to showcase them. And as a coach, I think that's one of the reasons that we extended our season a couple of weeks, because I wanted the team to really enjoy that locker room for at least 2 weeks, and we were able to do that. Everything came in on time and it was done. We got the permit to occupy the building, a few days before. So from November 1, they were able to use that facility for 2 weeks, and just to see, the kids' reaction and faces and how they reacted to it, I think it's a game changer. I think it's a game changer. like I said, for our program and for all the athletic programs at the college.
Coach Shaughnessy, I know you've already spent hours upon hours in the new facility. Can you kind of describe to our audience, the different components of it from the women's soccer student athlete perspective? What are some of those bells and whistles?
I think the biggest benefit coming in is it's just having your own space as a team where you can kind of centralize everything you do. Everyone has a nice brand new locker. Every person on our team, there's just a central spot where they can kind of hang out. When we had scrimmages, kids would come in a couple hours early and be on the TV, playing music, jamming in there. So it's definitely a culture changer in the sense you want to be in there. It's not just a place you go to get changed, drop stuff off. Players are, hanging out in there. We've had kids ask if they can do homework in there. So I definitely think it's a place that we're very happy to have and finally have full access to and just be able to use 24/7.
Now, one of the big reasons we wanted to showcase women's soccer and men's soccer this evening are two graduating seniors. These two seniors are on the verge of graduating from Brevard College. They're going to be part of this fall semester graduating class, graduating in December. Their collegiate careers, have come to a close. And from the men's soccer side, Matheus Masukawa, who we're going to have on the show later and talk to his head coach. But from the women's soccer side, Hannah Wetherall, who's just been an outstanding student athlete on campus and an important part of the women's soccer team as goalkeeper. Coach Mascaro, can you tell us about Hannah Wetherall, just how special of a student athlete she's been?
Phil, we could probably stay until midnight tonight, and we would not have enough time to talk about the wonderful human being that Hannah Wetherall is. She's a phenomenal human being. And the player I'll talk about the human being first and then the player, obviously. But Hannah is such a wonderful human being, such a phenomenal teammate. One of those kids that are really legitimately selfless. And in teams, everybody says that they are a team player. Everybody wants to do everything that is great for the team until you have to give something up, right? Hannah is the type of kid that she will volunteer to give things up for the betterment of the team. And that speaks volumes of her. So as a human being, I'll say I'm very lucky to have met her. I'm very lucky to have been able to be her coach for 4 years. And I'm hoping that she had a wonderful experience. We did our best to try to make sure that she did. And, as a soccer player, we really had we're spoiled. We really had two phenomenal goalkeepers, Hannah being one of them. And, I really didn't really, which is hard to say, but I really didn't mind who played because I knew the two were going to be great. And Hannah developed tremendously over the last couple of years. And I think she had a great career. And when she was not playing in the goal, she would come and say, if you need me on the field, I can go in and run for you for, 10, 15 minutes. And she's that type of person that it's not about her. It's about the team. It's about the cause. It's about what's best for everybody. And that is something that I value tremendously because it's hard to find nowadays more and more.
Outstanding. Coach Chelsea, tell us from your viewpoint about Hannah Wetherall.
Yeah, I was lucky, and that's the right word, 100%. And, I came in mid-career for her sophomore year. So I've got the last two, and I don't think I could have had a better set of people to work with, but Hannah specifically, I think, is one of those people that really does want to make everything better around her. And it's always enjoyable to, be around that type of environment. She enjoys the chase herself and getting better, but I think she enjoys it even more to make someone next to her kind of compete a little bit harder to outreach her. And it is really unique to have that. So it's really a pleasure to work with her all the time, and it's going to be missed coming the spring.
Well, we're going to continue celebrating Hannah along with her fellow senior Matheus Masukawa from the men's side throughout the evening, and appreciate those words from the two of you. And congrats, on behalf of all of us at NATO Nation on getting through this fall successfully. Coach Mascaro, final word from you as far as, the college in general, the athletics program, a successful fall considering all these obstacles.
Very successful fall. I think that our COVID team led by Debbie Diana did a phenomenal job. We tested over, I think it's 400 tests. I saw the stats, but we only had, 16 cases overall. I think it was managed wonderfully. I think everybody worked hard. We had everybody on the same page. I think faculty, staff, and students really wanted to make this happen. And I think Brevard College is a phenomenal place. I think it's a place that it's happening. You can see that we're moving forward, even in the middle of a pandemic, and we're not going to stop, and we're gonna be great.
Outstanding. Well, head coach Juan Mascaro, assistant coach Chelsea Shaughnessy from the Brevard College women's soccer program, thank you very much for joining the program. We're going to let the two of you go. And there they go. Well, appreciate Coach Mascaro and Coach Shaughnessy joining the program. And we're going to be joined now by the head men's soccer coach, Coach El Dana, as he joins the virtual program here. Coach Dana, thanks for joining the show.
Thanks for having me. How are you?
Doing great. Thank you, Coach. Well, before we kind of get into the big order of business tonight, which is a graduating senior, I do want to kind of recap the fall practice session for the Tornadoes. Certainly unique in these unique times, but I know the Tornadoes were able to accomplish a lot through a series of inter-squad scrimmages. Can you tell our audience how the fall went?
Yeah, I mean, I don't think anybody could have been prepared for this, but it went surprisingly well, and we're going to adopt some of the things that we did, not least of which taking care of safety. But the inter-squad scrimmages were wonderful, and I think we're going to be using that in the future without a doubt. I know you did a great job with the broadcasts, and hopefully you saw the progress during the time. And I consider this the longest preseason in the history of college soccer, and I wish we would have played the season without a doubt, but I can see a lot of the good things that came from it, having so many new players and so many kinks that we had to work. Had we played the season, maybe we wouldn't be as successful as I think we will this spring and this coming fall.
Very good. And specifically in terms of the makeup of the roster and perhaps some of the more technical things you all were working on, what were the things you were most pleased with as the fall progressed?
Well, like I said, because so many new players, we were able to learn about their weaknesses and strengths, and them learn about how we like to shape the team. I mean, we like to say that we are the ones that adjust to them, but there's a picture on the back of the lid always. There's a style that we want to play, and that allowed them to learn what we're expecting from them, but also it allowed us coaches to get to know them better. I mean, technically speaking, it also allowed us to. Sometimes the season comes at you too quickly, and the preseason is so small, so short that sometimes you cannot take time to do the little things that maybe individually a player needs. And with Junior that does a great job, but also Kevin that joined the staff, we were able to have a good availability for that kind of stuff. And also on the tactical aspect, because of all these inter-squad scrimmages, we were able to do many lineups and many formations that allowed us to kind of pick the one that looked the best. Hopefully that will carry on into the fall, making us already ahead of even other teams in the conference, because in talking to some coaches, not everybody was as blessed as we were to have as much on the field time as we did.
Very good. Great to hear that you all accomplished so much throughout the fall. And you're right, Coach. It was noticeable, week to week, the improvement. And the kind of the number one takeaway for me was just the intensity of the play. There was a real hunger out there for these student athletes to perform week after week, playing against your teammates. Can you kind of put your finger on that? Just where that intensity came from and that drive.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie to you. I was a little concerned about that because boys will be boys, as you know, and I know guys. They step on the field, and I don't care if it is in a little scrimmage type of drill in practice or whatever the case might be. They compete, and we reached a point that officials, because we kept getting different officials, and I would always hear at the end. Man, I wasn't prepared for such a battle, So, I mean, a good battle. I don't think it got out of hand, but towards the end of it, some officials that were coming into it for the first time already knew it, because they would tell me before, "Hey, the word is out. This is a game," and I appreciate that, because you do want that, so long as they kind of respect each other and protect themselves and their teammates, because we hate to see people getting hurt. But by competing the way that they did, and like you said, it was fearful. It made everybody better, and he pushed each player individually, but he pushed the team. And we know now that we're deep. And you got to think, we did 8 of these, and every time Junior and Kevin and I sat down and we shuffled the roster, and we had to come up with a new lineup, except for the last 2 games, 2 scrimmages that we kind of went with a starting team. But we never felt that on any given day, the team that we might have felt, all right, this team might be a little weak in this spot. No, we could never tell who was going to win, seriously. And that's a good thing. It shows how deep this team was.
And you mentioned Coach Juan Mascaro, Junior Associate Head Coach, and also the head coach of the reserves team. Reserves team got a lot of good action throughout the fall as well, and even some players kind of moving from the reserve squad up into the varsity level for some of these scrimmages. Can you kind of talk about that dynamic as well?
Yeah, I mean, not only did they have their own scrimmages, and at that point, you had to kind of move players up or down, so to speak, because you would need a few extra players to rotate. But also, it happens. You have over a period of time, you have a couple of injuries here and there, and a couple of guys. There were cases of family commitment or work schedule that players weren't available for any given game. You would move up people from players from the reserves, and they look great, and they helped us, and it gave him a boost, because it made him realize that I belong in the overall scheme of things. But at the end of the day, from year to year, I mean, I'm only on year 2, but you already see such an improvement, not only from the returners, but also from the ones that are quote unquote promoted. I don't like to use that word. This year we have about 5 of them, and we're going to count on them. They're all ready to play. So credit to Junior, credit to these guys that bought into the reason why we have the reserves, right? I mean, sometimes you decide you can take the approach that I'm a lesser, right, citizen, or you can take the approach I'm thankful that I have extra playing time to develop whatever I need to develop. And we are going to be talking about one senior, but last year we had several seniors, and if I'm not mistaken, all of them had at least 1 year with the reserves before they moved up, and look how well they finished.
Yeah, no doubt about it, Coach. Before we get into talking about that senior, do want to also talk to you, Coach, about the new field house. And we've talked about the field house in the past, but when we've talked about it in the past, it was still a work in progress, a construction zone. But now it's complete. The teams have moved in, or at least putting the finishing touches on moving in. From the men's soccer perspective, can you talk about the field house? And feel free to get as specific as possible so our audience knows just what sort of facility you all now have.
Yeah, I mean, I heard Juan Mascaro say that this is a game changer, and it is. It's a huge recruiting tool. It's and it's not always about the next player. It's also about the existing player. It's going to allow us to better serve our current players and motivate them and keep them. But specifically speaking, we'll start with the locker rooms, which it's not even ready yet, but it's bigger. It was built. It's being built by design, right? So we were able to kind of outsource to someone to build the lockers. It's Johnny. It's in-house, that works with our physical plant, and he's wonderful. And I gave him the vision of, hey, these are the things that we need, not least of which the lockers themselves, but also the storage part. And he designed some neat little layouts that it's still in progress. Like I said, it's not completely done, but it's beginning to already show to the players, and they're excited. Then we were able to have more room to put a big screen TV there that with the wireless access will allow us not only to pull some of your broadcasts on YouTube, but also some live soccer. Oftentimes an environment of having professional soccer playing either before practice or even before a game, it pumps you. It builds that culture, it builds that atmosphere, and that's on the locker room. But you got to think now, the laundry room is right there side by side, the training room is right there side by side. There's a classroom in the facility. I just posted on our Facebook a little video of they install what's called a Sharp interactive board, which is in essence a huge computer board. I don't even know, it might be a 60-inch, 70-inch, but it's a touch screen that you can show a video, maybe a scout report, or maybe our own video, and write on it, and point arrows and show what the pattern should have been like, or on a blank canvas put a soccer field and show what the drills are going to be for practice. So these little things, especially for the visual people, which these days most young students, young players are like that. It grasps their attention. It will make it easier for us to pass across what we're expecting from the session, from the game, or even a halftime. We could conceivably come in and even pull the video, a little bit of the video from the first half. So it's incredible. Our offices are there, and such a pleasant environment to be meeting with the players, meeting with families that visit. We're right there from the windows. You see the incredible facility that we already had. With the new stands, I think the fans are so much more comfortable, and we haven't finished yet the press box, but I know you will be much more comfortable when that comes. So overall settings are phenomenal, and I can flat out tell you there's not a Division 1, 2, or 3 program in a vicinity and in a long range that touches what we have now.
Outstanding. What a wonderful time to be a Tornado student athlete, no doubt about it. Well, Coach, the big order of business this evening, we're celebrating 2 graduating seniors who are graduating this semester from the women's soccer program, Hannah Wetherall, and from your team, senior midfielder Matheus Masukawa. He owns all sorts of records across the Tornado men's soccer record books, but more so than that, just a tremendous human being and a big part of the program. I'm just going to let you have the floor, Coach, to tell us about Matheus Masukawa and what he's meant to the program.
Yeah, I mean, as you know, I haven't been here more than 2 years, so I've only had a snapshot. And from what I hear, he's much more than that. But just a snapshot, I can tell you that just wish I could keep him. The part that breaks my heart, so to speak, is that he made a huge effort to come back one more semester when he did not need to. People might not know this. He could have graduated last semester, but he made the effort to delay graduation so he could play this fall. And you know what happened. But an average person would have been sour. And he had the most positive, and he was such an impact this fall, because practice, because we knew he wasn't going to be here for the following semester. We basically always would put him the setting that would be quote unquote the non-starting setting, and he elevated side time and over again, and allow, like I was mentioning on the scrimmages, I allowed whenever I decided to put a starting team on one side, it was still balanced, because a lot of it because of Matheus. But what he brings to the program, or what he brought to the program, I'll start with the on the field. For those that don't know soccer, a defensive midfield is somebody that does the little things behind the scenes. And typically, if you don't appreciate the game, or if you don't know the game, you don't see it. He's so good on that aspect. He's such a standout, such a hard worker, the mileage that he covers on the field is so incredible that even somebody that doesn't know the game, because I hear this a lot, they make comments on it. But he's much beyond that. He's a modern soccer player. He's what we call a box to box. So that means he not only plays the defensive side of the midfield, but he also links up, gets assists, gets goals. That's why he has so many records. And that's very rare. That's very hard to find, because typically when you have a player that is a little more prone to play the offense, he will kind of put a little more energy on that side and kind of rest a little bit. He shouldn't, but you see that. And now Matheus is quite the other way around. You don't know which side is his responsibility, because he's on 90 minutes of the game off the field. I mean, number one, he's an example by how hard he works, how his leadership, as far as he's not a vocal person, he's a quiet leader, but how he responds to stress, responds to challenges, responds to what we went through, which is not an easy thing, and like I said, he could have been a sour person. He's a typical person of excellence. Whatever he tackles without his best. Does he have a 4.0? No, he doesn't. But let me tell you, he worked hard for his grades, and his teachers appreciate him. I hear this quite a bit, and work basically full time in a coffee house this semester. He basically was a manager there. So he graduates now. The only good news is he keeps that eligibility, because this spring or this fall we didn't use a year of eligibility. So now he can go on to a program. I wish we have our master's already in place here, our MBA. He's going to be able to go on to play in the spring, and because the spring will not count again, and in the fall, which will allow him to finish his MBA with almost 2 more seasons. So I'm happy for him, happy for whoever gets him, because let me tell you, they're going to be very, very happy.
Outstanding, Coach. Really well said, senior midfielder Matheus Masukawa. And speaking of which, he's hanging out right now in our virtual waiting room, our green room. So we're going to let you go, Coach. Thanks for joining the show. Happy holidays, and congratulations to you and the entire program on a successful fall, despite some unprecedented situations around here.
Thank you, Phil. Thank to you, to your staff, and our departments. You guys made it a lot easier to cope with all of this, and I look forward to the next semester.
Very good. Thank you, Coach. We'll let you go now and get ready for we'll call them the guests of honor tonight. Senior midfielder Matheus Masukawa from the men's soccer team, and senior goalkeeper Hannah Weatherall from the women's soccer team as they join us here on Tornado Talk. All right, graduating seniors, Matheus Masukawa. Matheus, thanks for joining the show.
Thank you.
And Hannah Weatherall. Hannah, how are you tonight?
I'm doing good. How are you, Phil?
Doing great. Well, we've had the chance to talk to your coaches and, talked about how the fall went. Before we kind of get into, the real sentimental part as the messages are starting to come in here. There's one from Sammy Weatherall. Says, hi all. And thank you, Sammy. Glad you're able to join the program as the messages now coming in from the YouTube side of things as well with some emojis coming in. I think we're going to be fielding these messages all night. So kind of be ready for that, you two. Before we kind of get into, sort of talking about your career and what it's all meant, I do want to talk about just, the fall because, it was unusual. It wasn't ideal. The season got postponed, but for both of your teams, you guys were able to get a lot of work accomplished. Matheus, from the men's soccer side, tell us about your fall and, were you guys able to improve as a team?
I think, it was a very busy semester with this season that wasn't a season because we had like scrimmages every weekend and like practice every like 3 days a week, which for us is basically a season. And I think was very important for the team to get connected and know like each player. And I think it's a good thing for them for the spring since they now know the other players better.
Absolutely. And Hannah, from your perspective, I know the team was working very hard throughout the fall. What were the kind of things you saw?
I definitely saw us come together more as a team. I mean, obviously everybody wasn't expecting the fall to turn out how it did, but getting to do the Champions League that we did was actually a lot of fun. And similar to the men's team, it got really competitive and it was fun to have the teams mixed up for every scrimmage, but it kind of let girls know the level of expectation that's expected here, especially now that we have a new facility and we expect a lot out of them, especially our freshmen. And it was exciting to see the talent. I mean, it's bittersweet because obviously I want to play, but I'm really excited for them to be in the spring. I hope they do really well.
Very good. Matheus, can you see this message on the screen? Unfortunately, it is not in my native language, but I know it's in yours, Portuguese. Would you be able to translate that for us?
Oh my God. He's just like he's just saying like cute son or something, like handsome son or something.
Could you read it in Portuguese for us so it's in the proper accent for us at least?
It's filho lindo de mames.
There you go. Very, very good. The message is flying through the chat box here. Well, and here's another one. This one from Tessa Lee. Yay, Hannah Banana.
That's my sister.
Very cool. Good stuff. Well, I do want to kind of just reflect back, guys, and talk about your careers, your experience here at Brevard College. And Matheus, we'll start for you. 4 years here at Brevard College, you've gotten to the top of the record books in several categories. But I know you've had a great time here overall. Can you sum up your experience as a Tornado student athlete?
Yeah, so the first year was kind of weird, like getting used to it since like from Brazil is just so different, like the daily and like the classes right here and like practice every week, games every week too. And it was so fast. Like this 3.5 years that I've been here it seems like it was so quick. Like I think I had a wonderful time, like met like amazing people and they left unfortunately and like still here. Each year like better people come but I think it was amazing, like a very good experience. I don't think I could ask for better.
Very good. And right there, Matheus, right on cue from Marquise Dickerson, one of your teammates. Matheus, the beast. Love you, bro. Best of luck on your future endeavors, man. So great to hear from Marquise Dickerson. And here's another one from Gregory Sellers. Matheus equals the GOAT. So, yeah, they're coming in for you, my man. Same question for you, Hannah. If you can put it into words, your experience as a Tornado student athlete and as a student athlete here at Brevard College.
I'd say the same as Matheus. It went by so fast. I feel like I just started here, but it's been amazing. I wouldn't trade it for the world. I know every season's been different. Some have been great. My junior year didn't really go as planned, but that's all right. And senior year, despite the implications with COVID, I still had a blast with the Champions League. And even though it wasn't a true senior season, it felt like it was. But I've had an amazing time. I've met so many good people here and made so many connections. And I mean, I think the best thing that came out of it is I made a lifelong friend, Rebecca Rojas, and it was even better that we got to train together these last 3.5 years. So I'm very thankful for all the great experiences and memories that I've made here at Brevard College.
Yeah, fellow goalkeeper Rebecca Rojas. That I know the two of you, like you said, have grown a great friendship, but also put in a lot of work there training at that goalkeeper position. Matheus, do you have a biggest highlight or most memorable moment of your career as a Tornado that you can share with us?
I like every time after a win in the locker room and like every player like celebrating the win, it's always like it's a very good memory. But I think a special one was last year against Maryville, whenever we beat them at home and we had like a wonderful game, and like the women's soccer team came out to watch us and like more people from the college, and the atmosphere off the field was so nice. And to complete it, we just had a wonderful game and won. So I think that was one of the best, like maybe the best memory I have.
Yeah, no doubt about it. That was a electric night at Ives Lamel Family Field. The comments continue to flow through the chat box here. This one from Joshua Peterson. Hannah's straight killing it, and then the heart emoji. Hannah, is there a highlight or a memorable moment on the soccer field that comes to mind when we mention kind of big moments in your career?
Oh, there's so many. I've had so much fun over these years, but the one that comes to my mind would probably be sophomore year. I can't remember who we were playing. Maybe it was LaGrange or something. It was a home game, and I got to play forward, and we had an amazing game. The team did as a whole, but I ended up scoring 2 goals that day, and I just remember everybody being so confused, like, what is the goalkeeper doing scoring goals? But just the energy was so high. Everybody on the team was so supportive and excited for me, and made it in the newspaper, and it was just an amazing game and a great experience. So that's probably my favorite one.
Another message here, this one from Sammy Wetherall. So proud of my girl. I'll tell you what, our audience knows how to use emojis, that's for sure. And here's another one from goalkeeper Rebecca Rojas, my sister. Do you have a message back to Rebecca and any of these other folks that have been tuning in, Hannah?
Oh man, I just thank you. I love all the support. It feels so great, and I love you guys. And yeah, just thank you.
Matteo, it's pretty cool to see these messages come in as well, I'd imagine, from your perspective. This one from Jose Alfredo Sanchez. Mateos, crack, we will miss you. Best of luck in your future plans. You're a great example for the program. Mateos, how does it feel to see these kind of messages roll through?
It feels nice. Like the guys sending it is very nice from them, and they're very nice friends that I'm gonna take forever probably, and it just say thank you for them and for all this what we have experienced.
Another one from one of your teammates, Matheus. This one from David Garrett, a big part of that Tornado defense. Matheus is the GOAT. Congratulations on a fantastic career at Brevard College. Love you, bro. Well, do want to let folks know a little bit about what you all have been working on in the classroom, what your degree is going to be in, and then what your plans are after graduation. Matheus, we'll start with you. You're going to graduate with a degree in business and organizational leadership, and I know you're planning on grad school. Can you tell us a little more about your future plans and what you plan to do with that business degree?
So I'm planning to get my MBA and focus it in a international business degree, and I want to also use this year I have left in my eligibility, so I want to go play somewhere while getting my master's, which I think it's a good thing for me and also for getting my master's, I guess.
Yeah, no doubt about it. And, as we talked to Coach L about, I'm really happy that you're able to continue your soccer career wherever that may be. Just to, again, tell folks, Matheus Masukawa owns the BC men's soccer records in goals in a single season, points in a single season, career goals, penalty kicks in a single season, and career points. He has set the bar high for future Tornadoes to try to chase down those marks. And there's another message there from Christiane Shamura. Congrats, my dear nephew's success in your career. That looks like one for you, Matheus. Now, Hannah, as far as yourself, a bachelor's degree in criminal justice. You have a minor in wilderness leadership and experiential education, the WILLY program here at Brevard College. Can you tell us about your studies and then also what you plan to do from here?
So my studies were amazing here at Brevard College. It was definitely very experiential, which is great for the college's motto. But I mean, I took rock climbing classes, mountain biking, all kinds of fun outdoors stuff with Willie, and also learned some really good leadership skills. And then criminal justice, I mean, crime scene to courtroom, getting to know how to take fingerprints, all the way to the legal side of things. So all in all, I feel like I've received a great education, and I'm going to use that to work at the Transylvania County Sheriff's Office here in town. So I love Brevard, and I plan on staying for a few years. And then the end goal would be to get into the National Park Service. I'd like to be a law enforcement ranger one day.
Outstanding. And Hannah, were you able to experience any of the immersion opportunities of the WILLY program? And if so, can you kind of tell us about those expeditions?
Yeah, so I didn't get to do the official immersion. That was one of the options as a minor, but I didn't choose that route. But I still got a slight taste for it by going on Voice of the Rivers. And that was an amazing experience. It was funny. There was actually quite a few soccer players that went on that trip. I was there with Patrick, Erica. It was great. And so a little taste for immersion, and got to be outside for 18 days kayaking, paddled the entire Neuse River all the way from the start to the finish, ended up at the ocean at the Outer Banks, and I had never been there before. So all in all, it was a great experience. I got to do it with John Buford, which is amazing because I know that he's now retired. And so I'm very thankful for that experience. I don't feel like you could get that at any other college.
Very cool. Message here from Coach Patrick Hall. He's one of your coaches, Hannah, and also a former teammate of yours, Matheus. Congratulations, Hannah and Matheus. Can't wait to see where the future takes both of you. Thank you for sharing some great memories these past few years. Well said, Coach Patrick Hall. Hannah, sticking with you in this kind of classroom theme. When you look back, or if you were maybe consulting a freshman student who was coming here to Brevard and maybe looking at criminal justice or the WILLY program, what's the one class or professor, or if you want to name a couple, that you're like, hey, make sure you register for this class. It's a can't miss. I love this thing.
Oh, man. I know WILLY 101. That's always great. I was really fortunate to have it with Clyde Carter, and he's now retired as well, but I would recommend him to anyone and everyone. He has a great attitude and positive outlook, but definitely WILLY 101. And then I also really enjoyed mountain biking. So, and anybody can take these classes, even if you're not going to be a WILLY major or minor, but you can take it as an elective. And it's great. Ryan DeGarmo was the instructor for mountain biking, and I had a blast with it. Super sore, but it was well worth it. And criminal justice, oh man, Tim Powers. I mean, he was such a big part of my academic success here at Brevard, and now he's moving on as well. And so I feel kind of bittersweet for the incoming freshmen because I've been fortunate to have some really great instructors and advisors and mentors that have now moved on from the college or will be moving on, but there's still some amazing instructors out there. So with criminal justice, any of them, any of the classes, honestly, crime scene to courtroom, they're all fun. You get to learn some really great skills.
Matheus, is there a favorite class that you took during your academic career here?
I didn't take any Willie class. I was more focused on the business, but the business classes are also very nice, and the professors are also, and we have like a lot of communication, which is very important, and I guess like it's very fun to deal with.
Message here from another one of your teammates, Matheus. This one from Vinny Giannaccini. Masukawa, wish all the best from Riley and me. Great to hear from you, Vinny. Now, both of you come from places much different and quite some distance from Brevard, North Carolina. Matheus, you're from Sao Paulo, Brazil. And Hannah, you're from Louisiana, outside of New Orleans. And both of you landed here at Brevard College and really enjoyed a bunch of success here, but probably a little untraditional, if you were to look at just the geography and Brevard on a map. I'd like to hear from both of you as far as, what that has been like, coming from someplace different, and also what you would maybe tell someone, from back home, why Brevard is a great fit. Hannah, can you get us started?
Yeah, I think Brevard is a great fit for me just because I love the outdoors and I'm really active. And so even though I love the culture and the people back home in South Louisiana and the food is amazing, I told my mom I wanted seasons. I was tired of it being hot and muggy all the time. I wanted mountains. Like there were so many other experiences that North Carolina offered that I didn't have at home. So I wanted to branch out, be 10 hours away from home, which is, you really show that independence, but I can still come home if I needed to, which is great. But all in all, Brevard is an amazing town. My mom laughs every time she comes to visit because any place we go in town, I know at least one or two people, whether it be from the college, community members, people from my gym. So, I mean, just the town of Brevard itself, it just has that small town kind of Hallmark movie vibe to it where, I mean, they still have a tree lighting ceremony downtown and you just feel so warm and welcome. And so even though I was far away from home, I never really got homesick just because I had such a great support system here at the college. So I would tell anybody who's thinking about it that, I mean, the college itself is amazing. The town is great and it's beautiful here. There's so many waterfalls and mountain biking trails and hiking. So I would definitely recommend anybody, if they're interested in Brevard College, they should come.
And Matheus, not just yourself, but you have several teammates, also from Brazil and from different parts of the world here. Can you talk about that as far as being, from a different country and how you've settled in here at Brevard and how it's a great place, no matter where you might be from?
Yeah, so Brevard is, I think, is the opposite where I'm from because it's just, we can start talking about the weather, which is very cold in the winter. And is a very calm place. The mountains are beautiful, like Hannah said. And where I came from is just like so many buildings, like traffic and a lot of people. And here is just like a city where you can just walk and just be like very, very calm, I guess I would say. And it's very different, but it's a good place to just relax. And like the mountains are beautiful. I guess like the waterfalls. And if you want to come to a place that is like that, I guess you should come to here, which has Asheville too close. Yeah, it's a good place to live at.
Yeah, no doubt about it. People, save up their money all year round so they can vacation up here, and we get to, be here most every month of the year. A message here from Jesus Martinez, another member of that men's soccer team. Crazy how far back we go, seeing our paths cross once again here at Brevard. Great friend, great teammate, and an even better person. Did you know Jesus before Brevard College, Matheus?
No, I didn't know him before, but I met him before he came to here. The year whenever I was a freshman, I met him, but it's funny that we just crossed after, like a year after he came to Brevard, and I got to meet him even better, and he's a great friend of mine.
Very good. Matheus Masukawa and Hannah Wetherall, the two seniors. Messages continue to come in. Matheus, I'm going to need your help with this one again. Can you help us out with this one?
She's saying, "Hi, Matheus. It's Julia. Congratulations. I miss you." It's
Very
my
good.
little cousin, I guess.
Thank you for tuning in. You got to love this platform where folks can be tuning in from all over the world. Seniors, Matheus Masukawa and Hannah Wetherall. It's been a lot of fun to, kind of tell your story tonight here on Tornado Talk. Just want to tell the audience a little more about these two. Matheus Masukawa, 4-year member of the Brevard College men's soccer team, native of Sao Paulo, Brazil. He'll be graduating this December with a bachelor's degree in business and organizational leadership. He's planning on attending graduate school, pursuing an MBA with a focus in international business, and looking to continue his soccer career. He still has some eligibility left. 43 games played as a Tornado. He started in 39 of them. He owns the school records in single season goals, single season points, career goals, and career points. And, just a big part of this Tornado team, and a Tornado team that, by the way, last year went to the ECAC men's soccer tournament. And Hannah Wetherall, also a 4-year member of Brevard College Soccer, of course, on the women's side of things, native of Louisiana. She'll be graduating this December with a bachelor's degree in criminal justice to go along with a minor in the Willie degree, wilderness, leadership, and experiential education. After graduation, she'll be working patrol for the Transylvania County Sheriff's Office. Plans to stay in Brevard, and as she mentioned before, is looking to eventually catch on with the National Park Service. On the field, she just was a tremendous goalkeeper for the Tornadoes. She had 3 shutouts, 60 saves. She once won the USA South Conference Defensive Player of the Week. Big year that sophomore season with 44 saves and 2 shutouts. And also worth mentioning all her accolades off the field, a highly involved student athlete, a 3-time USA South Conference all-academic team member. The list of groups that she was involved in on campus just goes on and on. The Outing Club, the Institute for Women in Leadership, the Honors Program, the Alpha Phi Sigma, which is the Criminal Justice Honor Society, Omicron Delta Kappa Honor Society, Alpha Chi Honor Society. She won the Top Academic Award for BLET, Resident Advisor of the Year, Top Criminal Justice Senior, Top Junior at Brevard College, was the Outstanding Sophomore of the Year. So all these awards date back earlier in her career as well. Service to Peers Award, Exceptional GPA, and Female Athlete in the Criminal Justice Program Award. Hannah, just an outstanding career here at Brevard College, and you as well, Matheus. And right there from a member of the Brevard College Athletic Department staff, Joseph Marvin, says, "Thank you, seniors." Appreciate it, Joseph. Always great to see you tuning in here to Tornado Talk. Well, we are reaching the finish line of tonight's program. And, frankly put, the finish line on your careers as Brevard College student athletes, and, your Brevard College career coming to a close. And it only, a lot of great things ahead, I know, for both of you, as graduation is just around the corner, and then the start of your post-graduation life. I'd love to give you each the opportunity whoever you want to say thank you to, whoever you want to shout out. You have as much time as you need. Shout outs, thank yous. The floor is yours, Matheus.
I would like to start with my parents, always supporting me in everything, all my decisions. I mean, always. And thank you for my family, always supporting too, and the boys in Brevard, everybody who I met here, like the friendships I've got here is just amazing. And the coaches, of course, JJ, Coach L, Juan Mascaro Sr. always also supporting, and you guys too, Phil, Joseph, the staff always doing the best for us, and I think that's it.
Very good. Same opportunity for you, Hannah. Who would you like to thank? Who would you like to shout out? The list can go on as long as you like.
I'd like to give a shout out to my mom and my sister. I know they're both watching. So love you guys. Thank you for all the support that you've given me these last 3.5 years being at Brevard. I'd also like to say thank you to the coaches. I know freshman year, we were fortunate to have JJ as our goalkeeper coach, and he was amazing. We still do our focus box. That's what we always used to do. So thanks, JJ. Thank you, Chelsea. Thank you, Juan. I've had an amazing experience here at Brevard College, especially on the women's soccer team. And so I contribute a lot of that to them. I'd also like to thank some of my coaches back home, like Coach P, Coach Scott Pellegrin, and Ben Landry. I still talk to them on a pretty regular basis, and they really inspired me and motivated me and supported me to even pursue college athletics, because I really didn't think I was good enough. But they were always that support system whenever I needed it, especially going back home. So thank you. And thank you, Josh. I know you're probably watching too. Thanks for all the support. Brought me flowers after the last game, which was so nice. So thank you. And last but not least, Rebecca Rojas. Thank you for being my best friend these last 3.5 years. Oh, she wants a whoop whoop. Thanks for being my best friend, the best training partner. I can't imagine my life without her, and especially not my time at Brevard College.
Very good. Matheus, Masukawa, and Hannah Wetherall. I believe we still have a few more comments. We want to make sure we show all these before we sign off. Pedro Oliveri Campos. Matheus, thanks for all this time together. Best roommate ever. Congratulations for all your accomplishments and much more to come. And from JP Swarty, my brother. Miles Schaefer, another member of that men's soccer team. Go on, Matheus. The goat emoji. Sammy Wetherall, whoop whoop. Congrats, grads. Good luck. Adam Spencer from the men's soccer team. Much love, Masa. Thank you for everything that you've sacrificed for us. Sammy Weatherall getting in it yet again. Phil and coaches, thanks for all you do for BC students. Thank you for tuning in, Sammy. Rebecca Rojas, totally not crying right now. Well, want to thank our audience for tuning in and leaving those comments. We're here on Monday nights where we talk all things Brevard College Tornado athletics, but wanted to devote the majority of tonight to these two student athletes. An untraditional way to do senior night festivities, but hopefully you two had some fun with it, and I know NATO Nation certainly did. And congratulations again, Matheus and Hannah, on sensational careers out here at Brevard College. We can't wait to follow your careers post graduation, and it's been great covering you from our side of things as well, and want to thank you for all those memories. Thanks again for joining the show, you two.
Thank you.
Thanks for having us.
Very good. Well, be sure to follow the Tornadoes on social media, Instagram and Twitter at BC Tornadoes. Also Facebook and YouTube. Brevard College Tornado Athletics is the place to be. Make sure you hit that little bell on YouTube so you get the notifications when a new video drops. And we also have a SoundCloud page if you want to check that out, if you prefer the audio format. And want to wish everybody a safe and happy Thanksgiving, and through the holiday season. This is the end of the semester here at Brevard College, so stay tuned as far as when the next edition of Tornado Talk may be. But want to thank you all for joining us for these virtual broadcasts, and thank you once again, Matheus and Hannah. Congratulations, go Tornadoes!